5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dumb. This is the Weatherman. You're listening to freethinkradio.com, the only 24/7 commercial-free subgenius radio station.
What? A caller? Could it be? Congratulations! Subbase 27 deep in the heart of the Hypercube Laboratories in Orlando, Florida. This is time for the show, brought to you by our friends over at freethinkradio.com, and it wouldn't be my favorite day of the week if it wasn't for just the lemon-scented, hairy-chested, full-flavor, half-fisted abilities of NordVPN, available now for you to secure your anonymity and all of your sins. NordVPN.com, available now at www.timefortheshow.com/NordVPN offer 25_real-time-abilities.aspx. And Peas is here. Say hi, Peas! That's the horn. They love it.
I'm purging the depths of depravity for my dear listeners in order to replace it with the more wholesome fields of show. It is I, the Peas!
Bring it in a little bit there. Don't put the bar so high so early. I think we blow our wad in the intro every week. Yeah, just like that. That's the sound every time I blow one. Can you get one right there in the mic for me?
Here we go.
Give him one more.
Purge. I'm gonna start show over.
Something
do them all
bubble.
again, okay?
That sounded. There we go.
Okay.
Well, it's time for my favorite part of the show.
Well, I'm just gonna do it again.
It's Cube News. All the news is fit to Cube. With your host, Reverend Peas. We got news. First off, the t-shirts. We're making the Love Gift t-shirts this week. One person, I haven't got a response from them, and it could be my fault for the email, but I'll just blame them. I don't know what size shirt they want. So you're the last one, that one guy. So I'll get in touch with you manually this later. Versus automatically. That's what I mean. What else do we have? Was there anything else on news? What's going on? The mail's out. Mail's out. Did you get your mail, Peas?
I got some mail. Oh good. Man, I got so many stickers and Hyperspeak, Hypercube fucking pamphlet booklets and
things are
CubeSpeak, Hypercube field manuals. Paper. Oh my God, I've had literally so much insights happen to me in the last week since I received these sacred documents in regards to CubeSpeak from hypercube.go. And I advise anyone out there who didn't get in on this knowledge drop that took place, along with stickers. So even if you're an idiot and you can't handle the knowledge given to you, you're getting some pretty cool stickers. Well, all I can say is you better get on board that Patreon wagon so that the next time we drop the knowledge and the stickers on you, you're there to pick it up. You hear what I'm saying?
It's absolutely correct. You cannot get stuff in the mail from Hypercube if we don't have your personal information. So do yourself a favor and sign our non-disclosure agreement over at patreon.com/hypercube. Gonna use that one a lot because it's close by. All right, let's see what else we got. We got the more Cube news. What else we got this week? So ready to go for the news, Peas? Here we go.
It's exciting time to have to.
All right, here we go. It says here,
I'm gonna do it cold.
Okay, Verizon Wireless is not connecting to 911 in some areas.
Portland doesn't seem to care.
All right, there we go. KFC is now selling fried chicken fire logs. So this holiday season, remember what the cramps you had after Christmas dinner last year smelled like before the holidays. You got anything on that one, Peas?
You struggled a little with that one, Fox. I'm going to let that one die on the vine.
You sure? All right. Cloud9 adds the first... Oh, wait. What you got? You got something? You jumping
Throw
in there?
Throw it in there.
Okay.
KFC is delicious.
All right. If
a
you
fire log could only be... Like, I feel there's so much room for racism in that joke. I just want to let it die.
There is. That's why we got to keep it moving. The only other thing that I can think of is make sure to clean your fireplace flume so your house doesn't end up extra crispy. There we go. Okay. Cloud9 adds first women's esports team. They'll be competing in the Cooking Mama World Championship next week. Anything on women's esports team?
Isn't that No, dude, isn't like Cloud9 like a fictional store on a Fox channel TV show or something?
Yeah, I think the My Pillow guy sells it. You'll be sleeping on Cloud9, which is made up of the booby tears of my waifus. That one. That guy.
He's got a wooden cross.
NASA spacecraft samples asteroid Bennu.
Feels it got ripped off for its money. I didn't get high, and it's 3 days later.
With most other Asian-named asteroids, he did eat too much, and we're going to have to wait 2 hours for him to go back and pick up the rest. Nailed it! Yeah, that's a true story. Good. That's real. Okay.
That's a good one. That's better than mine.
Saturday Night Live under fire for African sex tourism skit.
Website was blocked off before people could write it down.
I was thinking more, well, all I could sit with was if people wanted to complain, but that means they'd have to watch Saturday Night Live. I was going to go with that one. I'll need my wife for this one. Or maybe maybe you're going to Charles Nelson Riley me here, Peas. Are you ready? Wolfgang Van Halen says a rumor is hurting his family.
Fleetwood Mac says, suck it up, dude. We're still #1 on iTunes.
I'll give that one to you.
Because rumors, you know.
Because of rumors.
And recently it was #1 on iTunes. So
well, geez, Peas, with that attitude.
That's got layers, dude.
With that attitude, he might as well jump. Okay, Joe Rogan explains why Kanye West is misunderstood. And has vowed
Machino's told him Kanye's God.
Yeah, you'll find that out with Joe Rogan's ballot suppository this weekend. Make sure to smoke it with a 0.5 gram of DMT. All right, Peas, here we go. A rare two-headed snake was discovered in Florida. Authorities asked that it
immediately asked for his unborn brother to be returned to him.
Who did? Say it into the microphone, Peas. Rare two-headed snake.
Governor demands family pet be returned to the mansion.
You're nicer every time you say it. We had mean ones earlier.
Which one do you think worked better?
I'm not sure. We'll see at the, okay. Scalpot says, how many rare one-headed snakes have been found? Nobody cares. Amazon and Twitch slammed by the RIAA over illegal music distribution. They... All I can think of is
Pornhub sees an opportunity for advancement.
The RIAA cracking down on Pornhub. All I was thinking about was all these litigious corporate mofos having to sit through all those Minecraft Let's Plays just so that they can find an AC/DC sample. Speaking of, where was that one? I had that one over. It's on the other list. It's on the other page. Okay, it says here. All right, Peace, take us home. Many people are giving up alcohol during the pandemic.
I don't get that because I'm
drinking more than ever. You're retoxing. I was frustrated housewives across America tired of whiskey dick. That one's funny.
Sometimes that's the only kind of dick you're gonna get in pandemic times.
Sounds
whiskey dick.
I get bourbon balls. All right, it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's the Pizzo Box, where we answer your real letters from you. And here's our first question this week. It's the wrong button. Dear Peas.
That's good, though. I liked it.
When did the last wizard die? Was it honorable combat, or did they just overdo it on cauldron huffing? And that's from Nancy Millstone Jennings of Sussex, West England.
Well, it's not a good question, but it's not a bad question. I guess if you're going to get into wizard lore, it's important to remember that wizards can huff way more cauldron fumes than you would think is allowed, and they might appear to kill them, but if you left them alone and came back a couple days later, they'd be fine eating a rabbit or something. So I'm going to have to say that for a wizard to die, it has to be in some kind of mortal combat. But in this day and age, that doesn't really involve fisticuffs, or they're wizards. So basically, if you really give somebody a super bad burn with an awesome meme on Facebook, that could destroy that person's wizardness right there and then.
Do you think
that's how you see most wizards fight now.
Do you think Ringo Starr is a Highlander? He's not the best drummer in the world, but he is the luckiest.
He's not even the best drummer in the band.
Thank you, Wayne's World. Okay, Dear Peas, will Vaseline take dried blood out of hair? Is it good for cleaning other stuff like teeth? And that's from Carrie Watanabe of the second floor over the laundromat.
Yes.
Okay, Dear Peas, isn't it better to leave your car unlocked if you don't have any valuables or personal items inside so thieves won't break the windows? And that's from Amanda, real name of 23rd Precinct, Orlando.
Okay, so this woman,
Amanda is a masculine name. It has man in the name.
I'm right. You're right.
I know.
So here's
I'm
the
right.
thing.
know I'm right.
This is a potential wizard here because when I lived in San Diego in Balboa Park, I had this piece of shit Volkswagen with like a little chicken shit $19 swap meet stereo in it, and somebody broke the window on the Volkswagen, which was unlocked, to rip the radio out of the place that I had mounted it. So what I started doing, because the window was expensive, it was like $75. Don't just unlock it, because the thieves don't try. If they're going to smash and grab, they're just going to break the window. They won't even try the handle. What you need to do is actually roll the window down, okay? And sometimes it doesn't help to roll it down on the sidewalk side because they purposely walk the street side. So roll both your fucking windows down, because I'd rather have them steal 100 of those bullshit $20 radios than break the glass on my vintage VW parked in Balboa Park across the street from, in San Diego. So yeah, you're on the right track, but when you metamorphosize into a Peas-like person, you realize that you need to go a step further and roll the windows down. Good letter.
I just get those realistic dildos and roll them up in the windows and point them outwards.
That works.
It's like crucifixion. It sends a message. All right, it's time for my favorite part of the show, and that's where we get ready to go to a song break. Peas, before we go, I've got a band name for you here. And I'm gonna ask you a question of if you think this is a real band.
When do we start doing this?
This is a totally new concept that I came up with today. So I'm gonna ask you, do you think that Flesh Compass is a band? Don't say it just yet. Save it for when we come back from the song. Save it. Flesh Compass.
So we're gonna do a song. And everybody else should think about it too.
No, they shouldn't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't research it. Type it into the chat at freethinkradio.com. We'll be right back with more time for the show. Get ready to read the commercial piece. We're doing that. Bye-bye.
Never spend more than $5 on sunglasses. Never spend $5 on sunglasses.
Meanwhile, back at the station.
The soap. Tell them about the soap, Peas.
The soap's so incredible, dude. Here's the thing. When you wake up in the morning, does your body resonate with putrid stench of dried bodily fluids and greasy naturally occurring oils that leave stopping puddles of filth on your pillow and mattress?
Yes.
Well, then you may be one of a small group of people living with a condition known as stank ass. Stank ass affects lives every day, and without proper treatment can result in lingering odors and musks trailing behind individuals living with stank ass. Finally, there's a solution. Finally! Introducing Triology Soaps, an over-the-counter remedy for stank ass. By mixing Triology soap with water and applying it to the body, laboratory tests have shown that this can reduce the body's own tolerance for stank ass. Unlike other soaps that just mask odors, Triology Soap's glycerin-based slack-infused technology fights stank ass at its core. Triology Soaps is shown to be effective at fighting off other organisms living off the body, and when combined with everyday hand washing, can be utilized to combat viruses like COVID-19, E. coli, and Batman fingers. Triology Soaps also makes for a good personal lubricant, and with the patented Dobbs Bar Hygiene Kit, you can rest assured your extra time in the bathroom doesn't just leave you feeling relieved, but refreshed! If you would like to learn more and try Triology Soaps, visit triologysoaps.com today. The only soups approved by the Church of the Subgenius and appreciated by Yetis and normals across the world. Triologysoaps.com. Organisms could be on your skin.
Or can they? Oh man, it's time for my favorite part of the show. time for the shout-outs, where you get your shout-outs sent to us, and we say them. This first one here is read as an advertisement.
Shut up!
This week on Reverend Fanboy's Fun Time on freethinkradio.com, 8 p.m. Eastern. Orson Welles and the Mercury Radio Theater on the Air present their infamous adaptation of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, followed by music, Pat Novak for Hire at midnight, and then more music. That's Reverend Fanboy's Fun Time on freethinkradio.com. All right, and then we've got one more here. That's from Reverend Fanboy. He's your number one fan. He even spells Reverend the same way as you do. Okay.
It might be clever.
This is to be read as a rant, okay? My dear Donna, things are getting more and more clear since the last email I sent you on October 17th, 2020. Donna, the karma from your past lives strongly kept influencing your life. And the more I study your current karma, Donna, the more I am sure that this is what caused it all. If you want to get your shout out, go to timefortheshow.com/shoutouts and get them in before I start charging money for them, because I'm out of money. Did you know that? My favorite part of the show! Dr. Fox is out of money. Send me money. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I gotta get a job, Peas. I want to get a job. Time for the shout-outs. Oh, it's time for my favorite part of the show! Truthache! So where Peas is going to tell, probably a lie, or probably he's going to tell a long story that has some parts of it are true, but the rest of it is a lie, or most of it's true and some other part of it's a lie. I don't know how this game works anymore, but I got 3 questions at the end to figure it out. And so without any ado, it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's Truthache with Reverend Peas. Go get 'em, Peas!
So...
Oh, I'm just handed this card from the stagehand. Is it a band? Flesh Compass. Peas. It was handed to me. I've got a card here. It says, "Is it a band?"
That's definitely a band. And that was such great handing you a card music. I want more cards handed and to hear that tone more often.
Yeah, that was a little terrifying. Flesh Compass.
Do it again. Do it one more time.
Hold on, I'm being handed a card.
What?
Peas, you said Flesh Compass. Is it or is it not?
What can it possibly say?
A band. It's the answer. That's what it is.
That's such a hardcore band.
You're sure?
That's a band, man. That's a
final
band.
Answer.
That's my. If it's not a band, I'm making it a band.
All right, just like I said in the gym. I forgot what they're called because I never went. Just like I saw in the locker room. Show me Flesh Compass. I'm sorry, Peace, that is incorrect. Flesh Compass is not a band, just a really cool idea for a tattoo. All right, and now it's time for my favorite part of the show.
Think that should be a band? That's a good band name.
It's Truthache. Go get them, Peace. I'm gonna go smoke.
Okay, so when
the joke
the
is
water
that
bag when the water bag that carries the persona of the Peas was young, before the Peas was even around, is where this story comes from. And when the water bag was young, like let's say I'm gonna say I was 5.5 or 6 years old. I used to go to this lady's house who was like a babysitter, and it was kind of like a preschool, but it was like a farm in the back, They had like a horse in a corral, and they sold vegetables. But I went back there a few years ago, and it seemed really small to have had all this shit. But it did have all this, and we had all these toys, and there was like 10 kids. There was Donna and Robert, Steve, and there was a Mexican kid, but he didn't come that often. I think because his parents were poor and couldn't pay for it. And Mrs. Stillman's house, and that's where I kind of grew up. And Mrs. Stillman was kind of cool, and she kind of wasn't like one kid would bite her kids. So Mrs. Stillman broke that kid from biting other kids. Mrs. Stillman bit that kid one day. She's like, "How do you fucking like that?" And he didn't. The kid did not like it. But then like sometimes she'd have us go out into the field and pick cucumbers and stuff, and she would sell them on the street. People, it's like a Oceanside, California. It's weird. Farm, and there's a horse, and her husband Murray was a car mechanic, and her son who lived like in the little side house, and they had like 2 houses on the property. But anyway, we're all playing in the backyard one day, and I like somehow there's all these little teeny tiny brown mushrooms growing. Not big mushrooms, like the size of a kid's pinky, little brown mushroom out of the ground. And there's like 6 of us still waiting for our parents to show up. And the other kids, there's one kid that's my age, but the other kids are like 3 or 4 years old. They're a couple years younger. I forget what game we're playing, but I convinced all the kids to eat these mushrooms, that they're gonna do something magic. We're gonna become Alice in Wonderland. I don't know, but so they all eat these mushrooms. I didn't eat any because I thought at the last minute, I'm like, I don't really like mushrooms that much. But all the other kids ate them. And we played for about 10 minutes, and one of the kids says, I don't think we should have ate those mushrooms, which is, if you think about it, because these kids are all either my age, which is like 5.5 or 6, and younger, it's a pretty profound thing to say. And they're like, I'm going to go ask Miss Stillman if it's okay for us to have eaten those mushrooms. And I'm like, oh, I wish you wouldn't do that, because if it wasn't okay, I'm going to be taking some heat for eating mushrooms. Now, here's the thing. We would go pick cucumbers and stuff in her vegetable garden, and she would cut them up and eat them. So on some level, I'm like, eat them. So on some level, hey, if you find something on the ground here at the babysitter's, the Stillman's house, you can pick it up and eat it, and it's okay. It's cool. And but yeah, so the kids rat me out, and they say, yeah, Frankie, I'm not called the peas then, which is sad. But they're like, he had us eat all these mushrooms, which wasn't true. I suggested that we all eat the mushrooms, and at the last minute, I chose not to. They all could have chose not to at the last minute. I don't know why it becomes such a I led the thing. So the next thing you know, we're all going to the hospital. Now, this is like 1969, 1970. Going to the hospital is not like it is today, where, oh shit, you got in the hospital 6 or 7 times by the time you're 10. In those days, you only went to the hospital to die or to get a cast or something. So it seemed pretty serious that we were going, yeah, we're going to the hospital. So at the hospital, they're like, so what'd you guys, oh, some mushrooms, it's fine. What are you worried about? We tomatoes are like, no. So they pour a bunch of charcoal powder on some ice cream, and they make all the kids eat it. And then they gave them some other thing that makes them throw it up. So the premise is, I guess, is that the charcoal absorbs the poison from the shrooms, and then you throw it all up. So in the course of all this, I'm fessing up to what I did. I'm like, hey, but hold on. I didn't eat any mushrooms, just so you know. But they don't believe me. Okay, they're like, no, you wouldn't have made all these other kids not. I'm like, no, that's exactly what I would have done. That sounds exactly like me. So they made me eat the ice cream with the charcoal powder on it and then throw up into the sink. And I never, to this day, I don't think that I had told them. It was their, the words of a child and think that he's being honest. So that's my story, which is I poisoned my preschool friend, head hospital, and eat charcoal and ice cream and throw up the poisoned mushrooms, even though I didn't eat any.
Well, that's a pretty good one. I like that one. And I've got a couple of questions. I even got a joke out of it. So I guess we'll have to think about that.
Well, we should do a song.
We should do a song.
Do a song first.
Should we just do a song, or should we do another band? We
should tease it.
Tease another band.
Yeah, the band name thinks it catching on. Yeah, the band name's catching on. Let's leave the audience with two teasers. Two teasers.
So when we come back, we're gonna find out whether or not Tease is a huge liar, and then we're also gonna find out if this group is a band. And the name of the band, theoretically, is Stiff Richards. StiffRichards. Stiff Richards. So don't think about that. Put it in the chat. You like how that rhymes?
Eat your parents.
That'll teach them. You're listening to Time for the Show on freethinkradio.com. You're listening to Time for the Show right here on freethinkradio.com. When before we took a song break, we guessed if it was a band, and the band was Stiff Richards. Peas, what say ye?
I think that's a transgender Little Richard cover band.
All right, so we're saying yes, it is a band. We're gonna lock that in. Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna ask for the envelope.
From Mexico.
Is this the envelope button? Peas, I have the answer. When it comes to Stiff Richards,
I love their music. That's the best one.
You are correct! It is a band! Yeah. Alright, so, we were just hitting up my favorite part of the show. Boop, boop.
Ask me your question 3, Dr. Fox. Ask me your question 3.
Boop, boop. You remember that one? I do. Okay, let me see here. During our round of Truthake, you said some things which I think are true and things that are not true, and I will determine that by a series of questions. Question number 1. Please, you said that you had friends.
Correct.
Okay.
I did say that.
Okay. Question number 2. We got to work on the latency. We got to do some port forwarding or something, because we got big news at the end of the show. What were your friends' names?
I told you there was Sandy and Barbara and Steve and Chris and Mike.
Okay. Those 5, huh? Okay. My other question was pertaining to the charcoal ice cream. Was it?
Yes.
Was it soft serve or hard packed?
No, first of all, let's put the time frame in perspective. They didn't have soft serve. If you wanted soft serve, you had to go to a Dairy Queen or a Tasty Freeze.
So they had
soft serve was a new invention in 1969.
That's still
yeah,
where
but there
you
was
go
no
to
getting it.
soft serve.
Okay, it's not like somebody drove out. And it's this hard vanilla ice cream that they sprinkled charcoal powder on, and it's supposed to taste good, but you know what it tastes like? Fucking charcoal briquettes.
Really? I didn't think about that. And well, that's a thing. That's back. Interestingly enough,
That's your 3 questions.
That charcoal activated ice cream is or activated charcoal ice cream, particularly a soft serve, as it happens to be, is undergoing sampling in some markets over in Europe where they don't have things like FDA or common sense, and use it as a purifying method. And it's kind of a detox treat. It's the ice cream that's good for you, the charcoal ice cream. And you're saying that when you was a child, and so I've got my questions in. Fine, okay. So you're saying that
you
when
got your 3 questions.
you were a teenager.
Is that extra question or just a soliloquy?
No. Now I'm going over it. This is my master stroke. See, this is what you get now. You've told the story, and I'm going to deduce whether you are a liar.
Deduce it.
Okay.
Or a magician.
Or a
Same thing.
a wizard. You'll die from cauldron
Same thing.
huffing. That's a callback to the beginning of the show. Okay. Woo!
Oh my God! It's like we've done show before.
It's like we know
Unbelievable.
what we're doing. You said things about.
Good work.
I'm very suspicious about question number 1. Question number 2 is very interesting. It makes me wonder if you wrote this week's down or not. It sounded a little bit more off the cuff. If you don't remember last week, Pease had asked me whether or not I believed that he illegally dumped trash and then blamed it on some Puerto Rican guy. So this week the question is, did Pease intentionally poison children? And
As a child.
Were you a child? I mean, I asked my questions, but were you a child? Are you a legal child, or you're obviously under the age of 18? But how old were you?
Well, I told you I was like 5.5, 6 years old. I don't know. And it wasn't me because I wasn't the Pease in. It's just the water bag that the Pease lives in now.
Okay. I can see those water bags. How do you get pink smoke? Crash a Mary Kay buggy. I heard that one the other day. Oh yeah. What is it called when kids in Alabama play doctor? A family reunion.
Right. Hungry hippos.
That's not funny. Don't disparage the weight issues of the lower class white middle suburbanite of Alabama's.
Dude, there's some
Family bound! You're gonna ruin our road tour, Pease. So did you...
Dude, there's some fat people in America, isn't there? There's some fat people in America.
No, I think that there are a lot of people in America who are aware of their body image, and that they are, and I believe that you are shaming people by even bringing up the topic, and you should stop. First, you should apologize, but you can save that for later. 2,
I'm gonna save
our metabolism deprived community, the RMBC. Yeah, we'll work on that. We're progressive. So don't downplay an issue. That's a bad thing. I'm gonna say this week that no, I don't believe this story, because while you may commit a crime and cover it with racism, I do not believe that you would intentionally poison children. So I'm going to say no. And now I will let Peas reveal it to me.
Well, I'm glad to say I outgrew poisoning the children by making them eat mushrooms off the ground. But every word of that story was true. Even the fact that I was kind of pissed off because I'm like, I didn't eat the goddamn mushrooms. And they...
I'm just ashamed that you got one over on me. That's what I'm upset about. I'm entitled to that. I knew it. I don't care if you knew it. I was guessing. You get to guess in the chat. They're arguing with me. Timeoftheshow.com.
Yeah, scalp.
Click the Clark button. It's time for my favorite part of the show. It's Proving Grounds, where we go through the headlines and see what we can pull up. It's totally unlike the segment at the beginning of the show where we tried to work on stuff in our free time. This is work. All right, let's see here. We got a whole bunch of nothing this week. All right, Peas, as Nevada's legal brothels remain closed, sex workers think... ...
Why can't we just do hand jobs?
Social distancing hand jobs?
Yeah, with like one of them robot arms. When you get like a hip replacement, they give you this little thing to grab shit with.
This
you could
has
put like a
to
rubber
have
glove
been
on that,
a
and then
booming time for sex toys. This would have been a great time, and there's got to be so much amateur porn out there right now.
Golden age.
This is it. You want to talk about boomers? Now we're gonna. Holy crap! We'll go on to that in Dr. Fox's chopping block coming up next on freethinkradio.com. All right, let's see here. Where'd the news go? I don't know. I lost it. All right, well, you can apologize for that, Peas, because it's time for my favorite part of the show. No, that's the wrong button. It's apologies, and Peas will apologize.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a long apology.
It does, well, not necessarily. Sometimes you think that they're long, and you've been doing good. I believe in you. So first off, apologize for not accepting my direction immediately and unquestionably, without a doubt, and not performing to the simple task at hand that was presented before you by me, the guy running the show.com. Go.
So, that sounds like something I might want to apologize for, but I don't want to open with it. And I'm sorry that you're probably going to be hurt by that, but here's the thing. Earlier in the show, I talked about purging the depths of your depravity. And I feel like a few of you are still pretty depraved. And that the purging of the depravity that I hope to replace with the more wholesome feels of show has not brought to fruition the lack of depravity I expected to see within you at this point in time in the show. So this apology technically is my last great chance and effort in the face of adversity to wash that last bit of depraved depravity out of your minds as if you had stank ass and could only get rid of it with Triology Soaps from TriologySoaps.com. But no, it's depravity, and it's even worse than stank ass because it cannot be washed away. It can only be purged with something more wholesome and awesome like Cube Speak and not thinking. And I apologize for not talking enough about not paying more than $5 for sunglasses. for not talking more about eating your parents, for not talking more about not thinking, because these are the cornerstone quadrants of the pylon building knowledge that will lead mankind into the future and leave the dust of this terrible existence behind. What is, which is, and continues to be Cubism. Hypercubism. You can find out more by going to hypercube.go. And I apologize profusely that more discussion about this revolutionary technology that can be yours for just a few measly coins a week to be put on our Patreon list that immediately enters you into the annals and hollowed halls of hypercubism. This is the way, this is the path, and an apology shouldn't be necessary to guide you to your own salvation, and yet it is. And for that, I am truly sorry. Good show, kids. I thought it was pretty nice.
It was pretty good. P good, everybody. See, well, I think it's like we're clicker training ourselves now. How good was it?
It's good. It was
P good.
It was Cube Speak. It was Cube Speak good.
And it also puts in my opportunity, after your apologies and all the commercials and stuff earlier in this commercial-free radio station, that it stays commercial-free because you give your money to me. Give your money directly to me at paypal.me/DokFaux. Or go to patreon.com/hypercube and give me money every month. I'll take it. You can also find out more at timefortheshow.com, where you can subscribe to the show. And you can be a producer if you go to patreon.com/hypercube, like I am a subgenius, Reverend Fanboy, Brother Other, Caller 23, Apostasy X Benord, Hazel of the Windmills, Dr. Cosmac, Agent Lloyd, Long Dead, Martha Artha, Michael Marcus, Reverend Negative, Reverend Guimo, Couch Sloth, Scowl, Pod, Trenchy, Reverend Loch Ness, our exterior contributors like Katana 007 and Guru Drew. And of course, thanks every week to freethinkradio.com for hosting over 117 episodes of Time for the Show. And
I was on 6 of them.
It was on, maybe even that many. Yeah, maybe. We can't do it without you. Literally, it costs money. So keep listening, and then you'll find out more about the fate of Time for the Show by listening to the next show, which is Dr. Fox's Chopping Block with me. It's where I yell at you, and you sit there and listen to it. It's really good. So thanks again to everybody on the Patreon, and Martha Arla and Dr. Ellis, which brings me to my favorite part of the show. It's the last show ever. We're not going to do any more after this. Totally gonna, it's cut dry. And if you want to know what's going to happen, you're going to have to stay tuned to the next show. So listen and find out. freethinkradio.com